years for killing man over face mask violation. And the police officers who were found guilty of torturing to death a 31-year-old man for failing to wear a face mask 5 years ago will serve 35 years in prison, an Eldoret High Court ruled Monday. Now, presiding Judge Ruben Nyakundi stated that duo Emmanuel Wafula, 38, and Godfrey Sirengo, 35, had what it takes to secure the life of the deceased, but instead the duo handcuffed Dennis Lusava on the window the police cells before subjecting him to torture until he passed away in their custody. Here are the full details to the story.
Did we have the circumstance that this death could be avoided? The answer is yes. Our brothers had all what it takes to secure the life of the deceased in this matter. But unfortunately, that was never to be, and then we found ourselves in this litigation. All in all, I sentenced each accused person to 35 years imprisonment. Every human being has to be allowed to number his days, or a days are right. And the numbering those days are right. For the one who gave breath, gave the first life to the first man, he said every human being has to number his days, or a days are right, to 70. My findings are that the aggravating factors in this matter outweigh any metrics of mitigation.
Mshukuru sana. Na wale wako saa hii masikari mwenye iko hapa kama unajua tu na askari. Chunga binadamu wenzako, baada ya kuchukua mwenzako unaua.
The decision by Justice Nyakundi today marks a landmark judgment in the fight against impunity that is perpetrated by members of the National Police Service.
Away from that now to ODM maintains support for broad-based government to form 10-member committee to work with UDA, and the Orange Democratic Movement Party has officially declared its full support for the Kenya Kwanza administration, pledging to work with President William Ruto in implementing the broad-based government agenda. In a resolution passed on Tuesday by the party's Central Committee, chaired by its leader Raila Odinga, the leadership affirmed its commitment to promoting national stability and addressing citizens' concerns through constitutional and democratic means. Now, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, in a subsequent press statement, said the party would constitute a 10-member technical committee to work jointly with counterparts from the United Democratic Alliance to oversee the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding signed last year. Sifuna noted that the absence of a joint technical committee had stalled progress on key aspects of the agreement, particularly the full implementation of the NADCO report. He highlighted the need to prioritize youth livelihoods, peaceful assembly, the rule of law, and the fight against corruption and waste of public resources. Here are the full details to the story.
While members arrived here with different viewpoints on many issues within the party and the country, the committee has managed to broker an unbreakable unity of purpose in the party and a single-minded focus on ensuring that ODM continues to be a loyal servant of the people and the country. That the party supports the position that has been taken by party leader Honorable Raila Odinga to work with the Kenya Kwanza administration to stabilize the country and create an enabling environment for Kenyans to address their concerns through democratic and constitutional means. This is now the position of the party. Yes, that we will be making sure that we put together a team that can ensure that we implement the MOU that we signed with UDA.
And away from that, MPs order IG of Police Kanja to immediately hand over HR payroll functions to the NPSC. And these are the full details, as the National Police Service has been ordered to formally hand over control of all human resource functions to the National Police Service Commission amid accusations of blocking access to payroll records. The National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee issued the directive on Tuesday following findings by the Auditor General that the Commission had been denied access to key data necessary for oversight and auditing. And the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, was directed to surrender the police payroll and all HR responsibilities immediately. He appeared before the committee alongside Deputy Inspector General Gilbert Masengeli and Police Accounting Officer Benis Lemedekdet. Here are the full details to this story.
The moment she hands over, you write back to the committee.
The National Police Service has submitted all personnel records requested by the Commission over the past 3 financial years in a timely and structured manner.
Have you submitted the payroll?
Yes. As the accounting officer for the police, any information relating to human resource in terms of recruitment, anything, Chair, we submit to the Commission.
CEO, yes. Are you able to access the payroll?
For the issues requested in this letter and this audit query, I have not been presented with the documents I asked.
What is in this payroll that is hidden from the employer? What it means is that on oath, both Kanja and Banis are lying.
You know, the good thing with the truth is that you don't have to remember. Even if you are woken up from your sleep in the middle of the night, you don't have to be recruited, reminded, and what have you.
So we are asking a simple question. Where is the payroll? Who has the payroll? Because the employer must have the payroll and nobody else. Yeah. Can she answer as that question? That the National Police Service hands over. It's not to give access. There's a difference, by the way. There is a difference between access and being given.
We want you, especially the accounting officer, to hand over all the HR function, especially the payroll. You hand over. You don't give the commission the access, but you hand over.
We are open to that. They can be able to get it in text.
And away from that now, journalist gives 5 photos and video to prove who killed Rex Masai. And Rex Masai was shot and killed during protests near Moi Avenue, Nairobi. And video footage showing a man collapsing after a loud pop, allegedly from a plainclothes officer. And a protected witness on Tuesday presented visual evidence which, according to the prosecution, proves the police officer Isaiah Murangiri Ndumba killed Rex Masai during the finance bill protests in June last year. Now, the photojournalist, codenamed Gigi for security reasons, attended 5 photographs and a video clip that purport to clearly identify Murangiri as the man who pulled the trigger. Here are some of the visuals from the court proceedings.
The same kind of HR, I captured him as they were making arrest of some journalists who had been arrested as they were carrying out their duty. As he was getting into the car, he shot tear gas to the direction where the journalists were on his left cheek. Yes, below his ear, and he has a black spot which appears near the kind of a birthmark.
And away from that now to bring back Stephen Munyakho returns to Kenya after a decade on Saudi death row. And Stephen Munyakho, the Kenyan who had spent more than a decade behind bars in Saudi Arabia, including several years on death row, landed back in the country early Tuesday morning, returning home a free man to a warm and emotional welcome from his family and friends. At exactly 12:50 a.m., the wheels of a flight from Jeddah touched down at Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Among the passengers disembarking was Munyakho, whose long legal ordeal in Riyadh Al Shemeisi prison had captured national attention and spurred a campaign under the banner "Bring Back Steve-O." And outside the VIP lounge, anticipation was thick. A small crowd had gathered, family members, close friends and supporters, some wearing branded t-shirts and carrying banners that had become symbols of the fight for Munyakho's freedom. Some had waited for hours, others had campaigned for years. Here the full details to the story.
I'm glad to be back home in Kenya. My presence here today is nothing short of a miracle. And I want to begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life.
We used all the capabilities of the state to try to mobilize resources towards the satisfaction of the demanded compensation. In the end, one of our pleas to the Muslim League was successful.
I remember that morning, and I'm so grateful you opened your door, wiped away my tears, and promised that you would deliver my firstborn, the first fruit of my womb. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Allah, for this wonderful, wonderful gift of life. Thank you for each and everyone, and especially my media colleagues.
Many are the times in our meeting sessions, in our planning sessions, that it looked like a lost cause. But prayer, faith, brotherhood, supporting each other, solidarity, has a way of working wonders.
I want also to thank everyone who prayed for me, encouraged me, and contributed towards my freedom and return home. Some of you, I know, but the vast majority, in your tens of thousands, was simply touched by my misfortune of a total stranger.
And away from that story, now to another story. Yesterday, Kenya saw the launch of the persons with the social protection policy that will help in the implementation of the Persons with Disabilities Act 2025, which was assented to by the president sometime in May. I spoke to the Member of Parliament, that is Pepela Wanyonyi of Webuye East, and these are his sentiments that he had to share about, one, the launch of the National Disability Policy, but as well the assent to the Persons with Disabilities Bill, and what different stakeholders are supposed to be doing to make sure that these two documents give our life is breathed into them, and persons with disabilities eventually get to enjoy the services and the products of the work that they have been doing over the years through advocacy and awareness creation. Listen in.
Thank you so much. I'm Wanyonyi Martin, Member of Parliament of Webuye East, Bungoma County, in the Republic of Kenya. As a Member of Parliament, I'm really proud to be a member of this 13th Parliament. Because for the first time within 1 year, within a single year, Parliament has been able to approve the Disability Act 2025, and today we are also celebrating the approval of the National Disability Policy. And so I think really we are really proud, and we are here today to celebrate this particular milestone, which has seen people with disabilities advocate, push, lobby for the last almost 32 years. Of course, we are proud of this first milestone of having the Disability Act now in place to now give effect to Article 54 and many other articles within our Constitution. But as you've rightly said, this is not enough. This is just the first chapter. And I think there's even more work to be done as we move forward, especially in terms of now translating this act, the enabling policy, into now programs and action. And one of the things that must be done as a matter of urgency is now to put in place the enabling regulations to give effect to every section of that particular act, and to give effect to the policy that we are celebrating today. And I think really, as a member of the National Assembly and by extension Parliament, we are committed to ensure that in soonest time possible, we have regulations to give effect to this act. Secondly, all of us across the sectoral divide, we have a responsibility to ensure that we carry out public education so that then each person is able to understand what is contained in this particular act. I know so much has been done before, but I think these additional clauses, additional sections within this particular act aimed at giving effect to various articles within the Constitution, giving effect to various conventions, international conventions. I think really it's also important that we intensify the public education, awareness creation around the impact and the effect of this particular act. And I think really it's also important that we also put in place more effort and strategy to ensure that we hold the service providers, the implementers, the government to account in terms of implementation of this particular act. And I think really this work that Parliament is committed and ready to do, but also it must also be supported by other actors to ensure that together this particular act, the Disability 2025 Act, ensure that finally people with disabilities are meaningfully included in both social, economic and political sphere of the Republic of Kenya. And so I think for me, I want to just urge people with disabilities, this work cannot be done by one person, it cannot be done by one sector, it cannot be done by one arm of government. It should be done by all of us in our own small way, in our own regions, to ensure that really finally disabilities can also work and enjoy their rights like any other person. And finally, for me, much of the things that ails disabilities, yes, a good number of them are at the national level, but a good number of them are also at the county level. Issues around health, issues around education, issues around housing and all that. All these things, a good number of them at the county. So we must also put in place tax and strategies that will hold the national government to account, but also hold county governments to account, so that we enjoy services at every level. And for me, every government at its level also is responsive to what they're supposed to do for people with disabilities.
And those are the news that are making headlines in the country. When we come back from the break, we're coming back with the dailies. Keep it science and we'll be back after the break.